grab a drink, join the chat. Let's start the show.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Happy Hour Show with Lindsey Vertner. I am so excited to be here with you today because I know tonight's show is going to be so much fun. So for those that don't know me, my name is Lindsey Vertner. I am your host, and I teach millennial moms and startup entrepreneurs how to master their mindset and balance their life through self-care, self-worth, and self-discipline. That's what I do as a peak potential strategist and speaker. And I'm super excited because Miss Bowden that I met live and in person, I just love her dearly. She is amazing. And let me tell you a little bit about her. So she is an author and revenue recovery consultant. She serves companies that have old and owed monies due for services, products, and provided, but they haven't paid yet. Look. That was a mouthful, y'all. I promise I have not been drinking. So old monies due for products, but they haven't paid yet. So Dee believes in the statement, how secure is your cash flow? So y'all know we're going to be talking money tonight.
Coins.
Yes, and the sale is not complete until the money is in the bank. In 2016, Dee was recognized by the United States Coast Guard headquarters for recovering $7.5 million in 1 year. Do y'all hear that? She's been in Black Enterprise Magazine, Thrive Global, and Speakers Magazine, and y'all are just going to love her. So without further ado, I want to welcome my guest for tonight's show, Miss Dee Bowden. Hello.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. OMG. I'm here with the fabulous Lindsey Vertner. First of all, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're watching this fabulous happy hour around the world. I am Dee Bowden. My gosh, I get to hang out with my good friend, Miss Lindsey Vertner. Listen, let me already get started. We're about to raise a glass already. We're about to toast and get it in for real and have some. Y'all don't even know what y'all are in for. When she asked me to come to, I was like, yes, girl. Yes, we doing this, definitely. I even got dressed up for the show. Y'all see my polka dots? Y'all see my polka dots? I was like, oh yeah, I gotta come correct. Got the hair straight. Got we good?
Yes.
Beautiful.
I love it. So,
Yes,
I know that I just gave you that introduction, and it's kind of, that's the professional things, but we like to get down to the real on the Happy Hour Show.
Absolutely.
So tell the viewers, who is Dee Bowden? Like, who are you, the person? What's the thing that the public doesn't know that you're willing to share with us about Miss Dee? Tell us who you are.
Oh, well, first of all, let me say good evening to everybody again. And first of all, let me do the proper stuff. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a guest on your show. I'm super excited about that, number one. Number two, listen, raise your glass. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do a toast. Come on, let's do this. We're gonna toast virtually. We're gonna do this first. Then we'll get into it.
Yes. Oh, I didn't take a drink.
We're gonna take a sip and we're gonna get into it. So, who am I? I am Dee Bowden. I'm originally from Boston. I live in Maryland now. Fun fact about me: I love Ferris wheels, smooth jazz, parasailing, and hot air balloon rides. You're like, what? Really? Yeah. All right, so let me tell you about the Ferris wheels. So I've been on Ferris wheels in Boston, where I'm from, New Hampshire, Maryland, Georgia, Chicago. The Navy Pier for Ferris wheel is probably one of my absolute favorite ones because the skyline is amazing. On my bucket list is the one in London. Yep, I gotta go get on the London Eye. I got to have that whole panoramic view. Ferris wheels have been one of the things I've absolutely loved since I was a little girl. It started, I think it's just because it was, most people when they go to, okay, so the story kind of goes like this. Most people when they go to an amusement park, they love them twist and turning rides, the ones that squish you and make you sick and be like, you spin and be like,
That's me.
no. Yeah, I know, right? So I'm that cool, calm. Can I find the Ferris wheel? Let me go find the swings. Let me go find the merry-go-round. Let me go get the little train that goes around the park. That simple, cool, boring stuff. Yes, calms me down because usually what I'll do, what I have done in the past, my friends that love the amusement parks. Excuse me, I'm the one that says, okay, before we eat, let's go get all this twirly stuff done because I'm doing it one time and I'm out. I'm gonna be with the gun with the balloons, putting the water, that stuff. They're like, you're boring. Well, I'm not boring. That's what I like. Y'all like all that twisting stuff. That's just not my thing. But we still have fun. But that's me. Those are fun facts about me. So Ferris wheels, definitely. Smooth jazz. I've been a smooth jazz lover for forever. So some of my favorite artists are Norman Brown and Boney James and Alex Bugnon, the Rippingtons and Mesa. And so, right now, this time of year, this is summer 2020 with Miss Corona, Mr. Corona, whoever Corona messing up stuff. I'm like, look here, go sit down somewhere. I need you to sit down somewhere because I need to be outside with some smooth jazz,
some Ferris wheels,
with some sangria, enjoying the beautiful night air and being outside. And I'm being facetious, but I'm serious. Like, grown up, seriously, please go sit down. But seriously, more importantly, It's been for the artists that are used to doing live performances. Like, they miss us and we miss them. Like, for real. I mean, that's like, it's been crazy because, so for example, in Maryland, we have something called the Capitol Jazz Fest, which was canceled this year. I've been going to that for years. I mean, it's 3 days of outdoor live jazz from 12 o'clock at night 12 o'clock during the day till 10 o'clock at night. You have we've had like Earth, Wind and Fire and Gladys Knight and Lettucey and oh my gosh, Greg Porter, and the list goes on and on and on. And so not having that this year was like, are you serious? Like, we really can't go do this? Like, for real?
Right.
Can't do that. Can't go to the movies. There's just been a lot of things that I'm used to doing that are part of my self-care that it's been like, you can't do this. It's like, wow. So I really need Corona to go sit down somewhere and stop.
Yes.
Go sit down.
So speaking of the movies, that's my family is a real big movie thing. Like, we go to movies. We have 50,000 movies. We get all the movie channels, and even our family room, it says like, "Welcome to the Vertner Theater," and we have the big screen on the wall and everything, and it says, "Bring your own popcorn." So we're real big movie buffs, and so I need to talk to AMC to get my club membership money back because the movie's been closed.
Right, for 3-4 months already.
Like, hold on, I paid you this annual fee.
Right? Yep. Look, this collection is right there. You look. Hi, my name is Lindsey. Listen. Look here, y'all. Listen, y'all. There's a breach of my contract. We did not. I didn't pay for it. I didn't pay for this part. Y'all did not say that Corona was going to stop me and my family from going to the movie. So I'm gonna need y'all to do a credit real quick to
Yes. And we like to do rides and everything. And so in Evansville, Indiana, that's my hometown that I'm originally from. Every October, there's something called the Fall Festival, and it's a real big deal. It's like one of the biggest street festivals. I don't know if like in all of America or just in the Midwest or whatever. I don't know those, but it's a really big street festival, and there's lots of food vendors, and of course there's rides for those that want rides and everything. And so just last week, I think it was, they actually decided to cancel this year's Fall Festival, and the post that I was seeing, like, you would have thought the Great Depression happened in Evansville because that Fall Festival was canceled. It was.
We have something like that in Maryland. I think it's called Artscape, and that got canceled. And that's very similar in Baltimore, where it's like all these artisans and food trucks and arts and crafts and artists come through, and that got canceled as well. I mean, I don't even know if baseball season is gonna happen. If it is, it's gonna be a real short season. So many things that people aren't able to do this year. So I'm feeling like we're gonna have to learn new ways to do self-care for sure. We definitely have to learn how to appreciate this time. and then plan for better. I feel like I jokingly say that I feel like God said, listen, I'm gonna make, since y'all don't know how to sit down and rest, I'm gonna teach y'all like this commandments on the seventh day you can rest. If y'all said y'all don't know how to do that, I'm gonna give you a real good timeout so y'all will learn to rest and learn how to do some things. I mean, I joke about it, but I'm serious. There's a part of me that's serious. Meaning, I mean, for everybody who's been impacted or infected and affected with corona, of course, our condolences. We wish everybody that has it recovers, and those who may have been impacted, our condolences for sure.
Right.
That being said, that's one. But secondly, I do feel like out of this pandemic has come some things. So you've heard people say, well, I've had this decluttering project I needed to do for a while. I needed to get rid of some crap that's been sitting in my room for I don't know how long. Time to donate, time to get rid of, and etc. So that's one thing. Secondly, I feel like people have had to learn new ways to reconnect with themselves, number one, and then reconnect with their friends and family. You know, I mean, you hear the term people are zoomed out. Well, yeah, you had to zoom a lot because you really couldn't go visit anybody, go see anybody. So you had to learn how to do fun. You see behind me, books. So you learn, if you were old school, you go back through your book collection. You're like, oh, I haven't read this book in years.
Right.
Jumped off this puppy. You're like, oh, well, that's what that story was about. My gosh. But you go now, 2020, most people are not doing old school books like me. You might have an app, or you're doing it on Kindle or whatever the new thing is.
I like the old school, holding my hand, the pages books. Like, I cannot do the electronic books. I tried, and it's just not my thing. Like, I like to feel it in my hands. Like, I want to be able to write on it and highlight it and take notes. Like, typing notes. That's not the same as like writing out a note.
Yeah, and there's a connection to the author. I mean, there's something about that. I mean, I don't even have all of my books out. I have some, but I mean, I've been an avid reader for a long time. So, like one of my absolute favorite authors was the late E. Lynn Harris.
Yes.
Man, let me tell you, like, I miss him. He's been gone a long time. But I miss him because every summer he had this first stuff that's all dedicated to him. Because I had every summer he had a book. Yeah. So I used to get my book. I would come home, and this was long before social media and all that. He would come in, get something to eat, get a glass of wine, and sit. Me and Lynn, what's up, E? Let's start this journey. Let's start. What's going on? What happened with oh my gosh, what is characters? Oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank on what the guy's name was. Begins with a B. Oh man.
Bob.
Nuh-uh, it wasn't Bob. It was no. I'd have to go get the book. But anyway, one of his main characters, we always wanted to know what happened with him because he was always doing something. There was always these twists and turns to the story. So I mean, and I would get the book, and I loved. First I had the pleasure of meeting him, and actually he signed one of my books, so it's super sweet for me. So, but when he would write his stories, you always wanted to know what was happening with the cat. What happened, the last book led to the next book, and what happened with that character. And so for me, it was. I'd get his book and I could stay up all night, and I had to learn to pace it out because I was like, oh, Dee, if you read this like in 2 days, you got to wait a whole year before you get another book.
Which, speaking of books, like, y'all, don't move.
Hey, yes. Yes. Soulful Prayers Volume 2 with the Cheryl Pelote Williamson, who's my sorority sister and friend. And my prayer was on the power of forgiveness.
Yes. There we go.
Yes.
The power of forgiveness. Talk to us a little bit about that, because this is just awesome.
Thank you. Yes. Well, so where would you let me talk? How I got involved, about the prayer? What would you like to know?
Well, we'll start from the beginning.
Well, so Cheryl Pelote Williamson is a friend and also my sorority sister. So that's number one. Number two, I have been following Cheryl for a minute on social media. And so when she put the call out for authors, that she said, hey, I'm getting ready to put out Soulful Prayers Volume 2. I'm looking for authors. I was like, oh, I'm definitely interested. So, she was like, she gave us a list of all the different topics. And I was like, all right, I'll talk about forgiveness, because having lived 50 plus years, I've learned to do just a little bit on this forgiveness thing, because let's see, had some, how can I say this nicely? I've had some life experiences that have put me and my faith to the test, for real. So you learn these fabulous little things in Sunday school. If you're a believer, you learn love and joy and peace and patience and goodness and kindness and long suffering. I was like, man, those sound really good until you actually have to do them things. I'm like,
right?
Oh, wait a minute, hold up. So my story is like this. If you take the fruits of the spirit, love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, kindness, mercy, long suffering, and I forgot the last one. There's 9 of them. Anyway, I always used to say, when you would lay them all out, if you laid them all out like tiles when you go in the store, I would get through love, joy, peace, patience. I'd be like, oh man, I got to go back to the beginning again. Because man, I could not seem to get it with I couldn't get that groove with the patience thing. I might have been really decent with the love thing, the joy, pretty good. Peace, well, still got to work on that. But patience, baby girl, what? Man, that one right there, I'd be like, look here, I'm going back to the beginning of the line. And so I'd look up and I'd still be going back to the beginning of the line. I'm like, come on. I'm like, seriously? It's like, how you if you're doing hopscotch and you're trying to get through, I'm like, I can't get past number 6. Are you serious? I go back and start. Oh man, God, all that. So when she said, I want to do this book, and she's like, here are my topics. And I said, well, I want to talk about the power to forgive, because, although I'm being funny, I'm serious. Every person in life, if you have lived and loved or shared a part of you, there's a pretty good chance you've been hurt, or you have hurt somebody or somebody's. So the maturity part is when you decide, I'm going to take responsibility for my part and say, I hurt myself or I hurt somebody, and to actually have the courage to go say, I was wrong, I'm sorry, and then hear the words, can you please forgive me?
Yes. Because a lot of times we let our pride stop us from like asking and seeking that forgiveness when we know we've wronged somebody else. And, we might have apologized 50,000 times in our head, but then we make up all these excuses of why we can't actually go to that person. It's like, oh, well, they're not trying to hear me anyway, or they blocked me, or, well, now too much time has passed, so I definitely can't do it now because I didn't do it a year ago. And all these excuses will run through our head to try and hold us back from doing what we know that we need to do. And it's crazy because I had a client once, and she was kind of battling with wanting forgiveness for something that she had done. And it's like, you know what? We worked through it, and it was like, you have to put yourself out there, and whether they accept your apology is not your concern. You are genuine about your feelings. Your step is to ask for forgiveness, apologize, and leave it at that. And then if they accept it or not, like, that's not on you anymore. And you have to be willing to, release that and know that you done your part to try and improve the relationship.
That's true. And the other part about being in the book and writing about forgiveness is that I believe that forgiveness starts with a decision. So if I could do a live example, it'd be like this. This if y'all can see my hand, this is forgiveness. And then here's what happened to you. Y'all see the gap? You're like, this is forgiveness, but this is where you're still at. You're still down here with all this stuff. And the space is your goal is for you eventually to get here, but you got to start with the decision. You still have to acknowledge that you're still here with all this stuff, the emotions, the feelings, all of the stuff. And then the goal is, once you make the decision, you actually have to manage the decision, which means you have to acknowledge, what happened. You have to decide that I'm not going to spend the rest of my life upset and angry and frustrated and whatever happened. Now, I understand. And let me say this for the people that maybe listen. Dude, that sounds so simple. Well, first of all, I never said it was simple.
Right.
I didn't say that. I said it starts. Listen to me. STARTS starts with a decision. That's what I said. It starts. Then you have to manage the decision, and you start here, and then your decision is here. The decision is between my top hand and my bottom hand. That's that whole process is the decision. So it starts with starting, and then managing, and then acknowledging. And you may still have some what I call Molotov cocktail moments. Are you still so fill in the blank pissed off or choice words? And you're like, I ain't there yet. Okay, that's fine. That's part of managing the decision because you have to get those emotions up and out and have them be someplace healthy so you can get them out so that you can replace them with another set of feelings so you can do something else. Because you could sit and do this. I don't know about you. You've met people, you're like, hold up. When I met you, listen, I think the show goes on our last episode. We were talking about the same. Wait a minute, we on episode 25 of whatever. Wait a minute, you still here? Are you serious?
And tonight, Jessica has still not given her apology to John.
Right. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Will she do it now?
We hope so, because look here, we about to change the channel. If you don't tell that boy I'm sorry, look here, we're gonna click the channel and do something.
That's so funny. That is so funny.
But it's true. But the thing is that people, the reason I wrote the prayer was to share, my part in saying that I in my 50 plus years of living, I've had to forgive not once, not twice, a few times, and sometimes over and over until it finally stuck. It's kind of like, it finally sticks when you can release it and you go, all right, I'm good. And it takes time, and you have to give yourself permission to feel your feelings. Sometimes you have to journal them. Sometimes you got to go to therapy. Sometimes you got to go to church. You got to go to therapy and to the gym. You got to do a lot. You got to do a lot. Huh?
I was reiterating what you were saying.
Yeah, you do because your feelings are your feelings, and your feelings are energy, and you gotta have a place to put the energy. So sometimes, you have to go to the gym. Sometimes you got to take up a craft. Sometimes you got to walk. Sometimes you got to go run. Sometimes you got to cry. Sometimes you got to go to therapy. Nothing wrong with all of that. As a matter of fact, that's probably the best way to work through all of those things so that you get some new information, a new way to put what happened together and into a place where it's not that you're never going to remember it, but you want to put it into a place so that it doesn't hold you hostage for the rest of your life. So you can go on and do your life. Now,
right.
And now are there times and situations where you're like, I don't want to do that. I understand. Like a little kid, no, I don't want to. I don't feel like it. I don't like her, and I don't know. Got it. I ain't all that. But look here. The longer you stay with the I don't want to part, the longer you stay stuck, and the longer you don't get on the other side of that and see what the end will be, to see what new things are ahead of you.
Right.
I can tell you personally, if there are some things, situations, and people that if I had not done the work to forgive myself and them, I would have the fabulous bio that you read of all the blessings that I've had, and the way in the world God would let me do all that if I had still been as ravingly upset as I used to be on some things.
Right.
Why would God open up new blessings for me and want me to go do new things if I was still so angry and so frustrated, and I wouldn't trust him that he will heal me and that he will take what was so painful and he would turn it into something good. Now I sit here today. Are you serious? You just showed off my Amazon bestseller book in several.
What?
Yes. Yeah. And the power of forgiveness was part of that journey. I would have never gotten
Yes.
that. We're celebrating today? No, absolutely not. So for the people in the back, do the work.
Do the work. And forgiveness, there's 3 different parts of forgiveness. There's self-forgiveness. Sometimes it's hard for us to move past things because we're having trouble forgiving ourselves for the things that we did or didn't do. And then there's seeking that forgiveness of others, taking accountability for the wrongs we have imposed on other people, and then accepting forgiveness from people that have wronged us. So there's all these layers to forgiveness. Jesus, oh Lord.
Not the oh Lord for it. Oh, wait a minute.
Jesus be offense.
Please be a fence.
A forgiveness certificate.
Oh, listen, be a heart fixer, mind regulator, all that. Be the lawyer in the courtroom, the doctor in the boardroom, or lawyer in the bill, all that. Whatever. Listen, let me make it clear. Whatever you need Jesus to be, he can be the lawyer, the doctor, the healer, the restorer. Mm-hmm. I do believe this. I do believe that, I don't know where it is in the word, but I know he talks about beauty for ashes. And I truly believe that he will give you beauty for your ashes.
Yes.
You get the beauty until you give up the ashes.
Yes.
And you don't get the beauty until you make a decision that I'm going to trust that if I let this go,
mm-hmm.
and I decide that I want to do something different, that I'm going to look up and I'm going to be like, wow, God, not only did you take this and give me beauty for ashes, you healed things, you restored things. This situation that was so horrible, you've turned it into something better. And I would have never seen that had I not let go. So
right.
Got to say thanks for that part too.
Yes. And I think that is just the perfect way to end the forgiveness conversation. Make sure that, if you are battling with forgiveness or struggling, whatever it is, type in the comments, let us know, because you are not alone. Okay. We've all been there. We're going there. We're in it right now. So, we all have our forgiveness moments. So type in the comments, say, I need to forgive, or whatever it is. Maybe you need to forgive someone else, or you need to ask for forgiveness. Put it in the comments.
Or how about this? You need to go get the book.
Yes, that as well. Tell them where they can buy the book.
You can buy it bit.soulfulprayers2020. So it's bit.ly/soulfulprayers2020.
Yes. We're going to put that on the screen.
Yep. bit.ly/soulfulprayers2020.
Soulful Prayers 2020.
Yep. You get it from me directly. Autographed side copy. Just like Lindsey showed up and showed her. Yep.
Get y'all's copy and get your life together.
Yes, get it. Come on now. Let's make sure that the second half of 2020 is much better than the first half.
Right. So make sure you post your questions for the wonderful Dee down below, because we will ask her those later on and get all the tea from your questions. And right now, I think it is the perfect time to find out
what's in your cup.
Okay, this is
right now.
So, where you tell us what you're sipping on tonight.
Well, I have this cup called Black Girls Wine, and I'm sipping something called Magic Box Red Blend. I'm a red wine drinker, so I love Merlot, Pinot Noir, Shiraz. So I'm drinking out of my Black Girls Wine cup, and I'm enjoying Magic Box Red Blend. So
Magic Box. That sounds seductive.
It is.
I just recently, in the past few years, gotten into being a wine drinker because I like fruity drinks. I like mixed drink, like frozen. And if I can't get it frozen, then I like the fruitiest drink on the menu.
Yeah.
Every time I take a shot, I'm still like, give me like I'm that one at the party. I gotta wash it down for, like, sometimes, don't tell my friends this, but I might fake the shot and pretend like I drank it and really I didn't.
Right.
Shoot, now they're gonna be checking my cup. So, but I like sweet wines, and so far, like all of the red wines that I've tried, they aren't that sweet, and so I'm more of like the white wines, I guess you would say.
Or
Moscato.
have you had the rosés?
Actually, yes. So Kroger and Walmart has this. Listen, they need to send me some endorsement coins, okay? But they have this frozen. See, there I go with the frozen. It's called Frosé. Get it? Frozen rosé.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yes, and so it's a little pouch that you put in the freezer, and then you drink it, and it's frosé. And so I like that one.
Okay. Okay. So my love of red wine started years ago. So it's so funny. It's like what was I? Back in the day, I was white Zen. As a matter of fact, I think I was white Zinfandel. It was like super sweet, like most people. I was like, oh my gosh. And then, you start hanging out with different people, so you start experimenting. So I started doing these wine tastings, and so you get the six little cups, and so you had the first the driest to the sweetest, and I was like, okay, so the it used to be like when the wine would get me back here, like, ooh, goodness gracious, like, oh. So, and then you grow up, and so then when I started trying new foods and experimenting, I was like, okay, well, what I started to ask the questions. Okay, so what wine would go with this?
Mm-hmm.
So then I discovered that I really liked. You actually know where it really kicked off is when I went to Napa Valley.
I've heard of that place before, though.
Years ago. I mean, I was, oh my gosh, I think I was in my 20s. Oh my gosh, that's been a long time. It's been over 30 years. So, but going out to Napa Valley and doing the wine tasting there and having the gentleman explain all the different wines, and then just learning the tannins and the flavors and what goes with this and that, and then over time just I met new buddies, and they're like, we're going to wine tasting. Okay, cool. And then just deciding to get past my fear of, well, I don't really know what it is. I don't really know till, well, just try it. It's like you get some crackers and then you learn how to clean your palate. You try something else. You're like, oh, I like this one. This one bothers my ears. Like, the ones that do this, like, okay, we don't like that one. So, and then let them explain the quality of the grape and how they make it and this and that. And then I kept experimenting, and then I was at this place is called Total Wine here in Maryland, and they had these great wine tastings. So after work, I would go check out this, and my buddy that used to work there, she was like, "You like red wine?" I'm like, "Yep." And she's like, "Girl, I got this really." She's like, "What kind?" So I told her I love Merlot and Pinot Noir and Shiraz. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I've got the best bottle for you. It's called Magic Box Red Blend." Man, I've been hooked ever since. What? They need to listen to my endorsement coins. I didn't get an endorsement for Magic Box for real. But it's like one of my absolute favorites. I have it on a regular basis. And it's just, I like white wines. And if I can find so for my whites, I definitely enjoy a good Pinot Gris or Pinot Gris,
Grigio? Is that?
I had kind of moved. I was like, there was Pinot Gris, Pinot Grigio. Sauvignon Blanc is another one. And Chardonnays. Now, because what I learned by going to a different wineries, there are degrees, because you can get like the basic one. You're like, ooh, yeah, you make like the face you just made, and then you get up in as you go up in the grapes. Then you learn that the fermenting process is different. They put them in wooden barrels and whiskey barrels and all kinds of things. It's like, oh, it comes out different. So I was like, okay. So I was like, but that's how you learn. And then I'm like that little kid who was like, excuse me, hey, what's that? That part. Hey,
and that's the thing, like, even with the sweet wines, 90% of them still are not sweet enough for me. So
okay.
I'll drink it though. But usually what I'll do is like I'll put it in my blender and make up a mixed drink. And so
there you go.
That's what I do with most of my alcoholic beverages. It goes in the blender with some other stuff, some sherbet and some fruit. See, balance, keeping it healthy. Put all the fruit in there. And then even if the wine is the nastiest wine, I have now made it taste good with all my extra stuff in my blender.
That's perfect. Now, see, instead of sherbet, I would have sorbet. But I would same idea because it's like, yep. But definitely, that's a good thing, and it's good to know, especially if you have that wine, that bottle of wine. Somebody gave you like, man, I ain't never drink this. You're like, okay, what Lindsey said, mix it up with some fruit and sip on it. Be like, yeah, oh, this is perfect. Nice hot,
Yes.
very refreshing. Yeah, absolutely.
And so my cup, I had to do a thermal cup because I didn't want it to melt while we were chatting.
Okay.
But, so I am a sucker for cotton candy flavored things. There's a cotton candy wine that I saw on the internet streets that I want to get my hands on. I have not found it in any of my local areas. So listen, all you viewers, if you want to give me a gift, 1, I love food. 2, I love massages. But also, I am really wanting to try the cotton candy wine. Okay.
As a matter of fact, if you go on Total Wines, TotalWine.com's website, they actually have it. I've had it, or I've had a white wine that has hints of cotton candy flavor in it. I don't remember, but if you go to cotton candy,
Check it out.
Yep, absolutely.
So what I made tonight was a cotton candy milkshake, and that sounds really nice and wholesome. But I also added some Baileys, so it's a spiked cotton candy milkshake.
Baileys. So it's cotton candy. Hey, somebody came through and said,
so have you actually had cotton candy wine, Chastity, or you were just like, ooh, that sounds delightful, or you actually had it? Please tell us in the comments.
We need
and
to know.
also, you guys, tell us what you're drinking on. Tell us below in the comments what is in your cup as you are tuning into the Happy Hour show with Lindsey Vertner and the wonderful, I always go the wrong way, Dee. So let's see. Chastity said cotton candy grapes in white wine is also, girl.
She about to get your whole life together right here.
Right. I actually have had some cotton candy grapes now. So I don't know if there are cotton candy grapes at the store. I feel like I've seen that before, but there is someone from my hometown that she like makes desserts and things. And so she has this cotton candy grapes. And so it's actual grapes dipped in like some candy coating. I don't know what it is, but they are addicting. So it's a grape with some type of covering on the top, and they're called cotton candy grapes. So listen, Chastity, feel free to send me some cotton candy wine because I can't find it on my own.
Quinn Conyers. What's up, Quinn? Hey, girl. Hey.
Quinn, tell us what's in your cup. Chastity, what are you sipping on right now? Jacqueline, girl, tell us what's in your cup as well. Quinn, we love you too. Well, look, I'm speaking for both of us. I know I do. I'm sure Dee does as well.
Absolutely. Listen, Quinn is, hey, girl, hey. Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. So Chastity, I am vicariously living through you right now because I haven't been able to find it. Everybody keeps saying, oh, go here. And whenever I look, I don't see it anywhere on the shelves. It's like the unicorn of wines for me personally.
Well, we need Chastity put the link.
Mm-hmm.
We need to put the link so we know we know where to get it. Definitely. So listen, see, so this is cool because talking about wine, man. See, okay, so let me tell you. So right now with Rona messing up stuff, I'm telling you, this like if we could have done this outside under the stars, man, how cool would that have been? What?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sitting outside under the stars, but the only thing would have been the mosquitoes. I was like, I don't like mosquitoes.
Yes, and so I do have to shout out Miss B. Jacqueline Jeter because
I know Miss B. Jacqueline Jeter.
Her water, and so she is keeping it super healthy. And listen, I'm about to be right with her on next week. I'm gonna go on a water fast, so we're gonna see how I do.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Well, listen, I will shout out my Deer Park White Peach Ginger. I told you at the beginning. As a matter of fact, I think I shared at the beginning. Actually, before we went live, I said one of the things is on my vision board was talking about self-care. So part of my self-care since January has been to increase my water intake. So I now usually buy at least once a week or every 2 weeks I get a case of water, and I've started. Actually, one of my sorority sisters challenged me to do 4 bottles every day. So I got to line up my 4 bottles on my counter and get started. So my first one is to, as soon as I get downstairs, get a bottle in. So at least get 1 and then work on 2. And now that I work from home, there's really no excuse for me not to do it. I just have, but at a minimum, I'm doing two plain and usually two sparkling, and that's actually worked out for me because I guess I'm that little kid of me likes the bubbles.
Yes. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Happy Hour Show. Make sure you post your questions below for Miss D. Ask her anything. But right now, I want to ask her about her business. So we talked about her book, Soulful Prayers 2, and her book, Entrepreneurial. That's
Elevation.
For me. Yes. I have that one too. Entrepreneurial Elevation. Entrepreneur elevation. Yes, so tell us, you help entrepreneurs get the coins.
Absolutely.
I have a lot of entrepreneurs watching right now. So very quickly tell us, what do you do? How do you help them get that cash flow and get those coins?
You know what? That's a great question. So let me do this. So good evening, business owners. How are y'all doing? What's going on with what's in your cup? And how about this? What's going on with your cash flow? How your coins doing? What's going on with you? What's going on with your cash flow? Let's talk about that. So what do I do? The fancy term for me is revenue recovery specialist. Simple terms means I collect cash. So I work with, how about this? Why don't I tell a little story about what I do? And I think it'll make sense. So about 15 years ago, I used to work for a small IT company outside of Boston, where I'm from. I got hired as a collector. So I've always been in collections and contract administration in my career and in my business. So this IT firm hired me to do collections. They had $8 million worth of sales on the books, not in the bank. So they sold, let me slow it down. So they were an IT company. They sold software licenses. They sold computers, everything IT. They had $8 million worth of sales on the books, not in the bank. This is important because it'll help. Yeah, this is why I do what I do. So when I got hired, they said, "Hey, D, hey, welcome aboard." I'm like, the welcome board. Hey, how you doing? Great. I'm like, ooh, okay. So I get hired. Here's your list of accounts. I happen to be a believer. So when they gave my accounts, I was like, $8 million is outstanding. Are y'all serious? They're like, yeah, we need to just collect it. So I'm a believer. So I stood a show up here. Hey, God. Yes, D. I need your wisdom real quick on what to do with this, because I've seen a lot of money, but I hadn't seen $8 million.
Right. So, they were not securing the bag.
We were not securing the bag. We weren't securing the cash flow. We weren't doing nothing here. I was like, ooh, okay. So got quiet, got some insight, got to work, and then literally got on the phone. Hi, my name is Dee. I'm calling on behalf of such and such company, calling about account number, blah, 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 invoice number, blah, 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 for the amount of. Started working, building relationships, because part of collections is two things. It's problem solving, number one, and number two, it's an extension of customer service. So for the entrepreneurs that are listening, and small business owners that are listening, don't forget this. While you're in business to make money, number one, don't forget that you have an obligation to provide excellent customer service. And here's another key point. The sale is not complete until the money is in the bank. Let me say it again for people in the back. The sale is not complete until the money's in the bank. Because here's the thing. This company that I went to work for back in the day had $8 million worth of sales on the books, meaning on their records. They had $8 million, but $8 million was not in their corporate bank account. So I got hired. I got $6 million back in 60 days. Get this, y'all. I only worked part-time, but I got $6 million back in 60 days. Now, that part of the story is phenomenal. Here's where it gets life-changing. On October 24th to 5th, 2005, the CEO of the company says, listen, we need to come downstairs and have a chat. Now, listen, if all y'all who have a boo or a boo, when he or she says, listen, honey, we need to chat, you're like,
yeah, like, I don't want to do it. No.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to talk. I don't want to chat. I don't want to like, look here. So we come downstairs. He says, listen. I want to thank all of y'all for your services. So that's sales, that's contracts, that's order entry, that's accounts payable and accounts receivable. Thank you so much for everything you've done. We've made an executive decision. We're closing the company. You got 30 minutes to go get your stuff and leave the building. After I pick myself up at the floor, I'm like, what LL Cool J just happened here? Are you serious? I did $8 million worth of sales. I collect $6 million. Now I'm part of a collections team. No matter how much money we collected, now I'm sure there were other factors that impacted this. My point is that for the small business, not just small, because this doesn't just happen to be for small business owners, it's for business owners, period. You cannot think just because you made a sale that everything is complete. You have to make the sale. You need to have a contract. You need to do your order entry, or do you provide the service or the product. You need to invoice for it, and you need to collect your money. That's how the entire sales process happens, and the sale is complete and the money's in the bank. As a matter of fact, everybody who's listening, pick up your cell phone. Here's a perfect example of what happens in business and why I do what I do. Everybody under the sound of my voice has one of these, unless you live under a rock. Okay. Whether you're team Android or team iPhone, you got a cell phone. Number one. So what I do, I handle this is the sales process in business. You have a cell phone. Whoever your carrier is sold you a phone. That was the first thing that happened. So you had a sale. Number two, you have a contract. How do I know that? Because you get an invoice from your carrier every single month that outlines your terms, your condition, what kind of phone you bought. If you're on a payment plan, doesn't matter, but you get an invoice. Number three, order entry happened because you walked out. If you bought your phone, you went up in process. You gave them your credit card and you waited for these two words to appear: transaction approved. How do I know that? Because you would not have left the store without those two things.
Well, we hope you went out the store. That's a whole nother conversation if you left the store and the transaction wasn't approved, honey. But
you wouldn't
I don't got no viewers like that on my show. My viewers text me.
True, but my point is but this is for them to understand that in business you're waiting for those two magic words to say transaction approved, because when you have a sale, you have a contract with your phone provider. You have order entry. So you ordered whatever phone. Like I happen to have a Samsung Galaxy 9X9. You saw Samsung Galaxy 9 is what I'm having. Good grief. Had too much wine. Sorry about that. Let me try it again. Samsung Galaxy 9. So the point is, so far we've got a sale. You have a contract. You have an order entry. Somebody processed the order so you can walk out with your phone. Then you have accounts payable. The company bills you for using their phone, and then guess what? Accounts receivable, my lane collections, you pay them, or they have this fabulous magic little button that says services temporarily disconnected because you ain't paid your bill. So we're trying to make sure that the magic happens in your business, that you do all those things and you don't get disconnected from your customers so that you can stay in business. The reason BCS Solutions exists is to make sure, one, that you are solvent in your business. Number two, that you provide your product or services. And if you have past due accounts that are 30 days, 60 days, 90 days past due, and collecting is not your thing, you're like, I don't want to do all that. That's why BCS Solutions exists, because you need somebody that can come alongside you and work with you to help you recover your money so you can stay in business. Because here's the thing, if you don't stay in business and collect your money, you can end up like the Payless Shoes of the world or Charming Charlies of the world, etc. Because these used to be small companies that obviously scaled and they grew. Now, the reason I use the cell phone is the example is because everybody can understand that in business, you have to have sales of some sort. You have to have a contract or agreement of some sort. You have to have a product or service to sell. You have to invoice and you have to get paid. Now, a lot of people who listen are like, well, Dee, I don't go through all that. Well, if you're a consultant, if you're a coach, if you whatever, you have a coaching program, you provide the information about the coaching program, which is the sale. You have an agreement, hopefully, and legally, you have that. You have an order service that you have so many coaching programs. So many coaching sessions. You do that. Then you got to invoice, and then you got to provide it, and then you got to get paid. Or the coaching services end. Well, the same thing with the cell phone. The cell phone probably makes more sense because almost everybody under the sound of my voice around the world has a cell phone, and you do a lot of your business on cell phone. You do a contract on your cell phone. You do Adobe, DocuSign, whatever. The point is that this is what happens with your phone. But if you're in business, you understand that. So what I do is help you recover your money and stay solvent. And so the honor and pleasure of creating BCS Solutions was to and is to teach business owners why cash flow is so important. Number one. Number two, recover your money. And number three, let you know that you have to pay attention to the sales, because again, the sale is not complete until the money is in the bank or you see those magical words, transaction proof.
Yes. Listen, y'all, I need y'all to post in the comments whether you are an entrepreneur or not, whether you have a business or not. The sale is not complete until the money's in the bank. What? The sale is not complete until the money's in the bank.
Hey,
not complete until the money's in the bank.
Hey.
And that is not complete until the money's in the bank. Listen, I just made you a jingle.
Look, I'm gonna need you to record that real quick and send it to me. Put on my page. Boom.
The sale is not complete until the money's in the bank.
Hey.
I love it. I love it. And shout out to the wonderful Chastity, because there is the link where you can get cotton candy wine, and I definitely will be checking that out, and I'm hoping that it is as sweet as my brain is imagining.
Absolutely. Speaking of which, so we did not tell our fabulous viewers how we got connected.
Yes. Okay, listen, this is about to be a good story to end y'all with, because so this is how I knew that this tonight was going to be a great show, because how we met was a great time. So I believe we met virtually first, right? We became e-friends before real life friends. Okay, I thought so. And so we became e-friends, and then we were both speakers at the Success Women's Conference. And so it all went down from there. And that is where #Rainmakers was.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So I'm gonna pass the mic to you. Oh, yes, I did it right that time. And look, fill the folks in on how Rainmakers, and we got some other club members out there. Shout out to Deborah.
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah. So listen, y'all. So back in September of 2019, there's this conference. It's called Success Women's Conference that happens in Biloxi, Mississippi. So get to go be a digital facilitator. Matter of fact, no, excuse me. This time I was an ambassador. So my job as part of the conference was to go around and talk to all the speakers, do pictures, et cetera, et cetera. And then, as part of the VIP package, got to go have dinner with the fabulous Gloria Mayfield Banks and others. And then, so we had a special bus that took us from the matter of fact, I think it was from the convention center over to the dining
VIP dinner.
Yes. Dinner. And so, my gosh, so we're on the bus with myself and Lindsey, Stephanie. Oh my God.
It was a lot. It was like
10 of us. So anyway, so we're on the bus, and this bus was kind of dark, and it had a pole in the middle of it. So we were talking about, hey, let's make it rain. Let's make it rain. Let's make it rain. So we came up with the thing about #Rainmakers. And so that was girl, let me tell you, girl. It was
Yes, and listen, y'all.
Oh my gosh.
It went down on this bus on the way to our VIP dinner. And let's just say we walked in cracking up and smiling. And everybody was like,
what happened on the bus? Everybody wanted to know what happened on the bus.
We did.
And here's what's crazy. We had not been drinking. That was the best part of it. Everybody had a bottle of water.
Yes. So
everybody because everybody swore that we had been lit before we got it, but no, we all had water. They were like, y'all serious? But see, when you're with like-minded people, you can have that much fun, and you don't need the alcohol to enhance who you are. Because first of all, if you got to have the alcohol to enhance who you are, can you listen? I'm the same with the wine or with the bottle of water. I'm still funny. Lindsey and I just clicked, and so we came up with #Rainmaker, and we were cutting up and having fun. And here's the thing: what y'all see right now, this is the same where we were when we met in person. This is who we are. Period.
Yes, bringing the fun. And with that said, since we are talking about fun, I have to ask all of my guests this signature question, because those that follow me know that I am all about happiness and being intentional about creating happiness in every moment that you can, because happiness is a choice. And some people are like, oh my gosh, why are you so happy? Well, I'd rather spend my energy being happy than spending it being miserable, because it takes the same amount of energy to do both. They are both hard work. It's just which hard work you want to pick. And so I pick happiness, and I try to teach other people to pick happiness as well. And so I have to ask you, yes, Chastity says, love it. I love Chastity. Yes, yes, yes. And she loves what we are talking about. Awesome. Make sure y'all share this out, and you don't know who this can help, okay? So if you found this useful, even if you didn't, which you should have, caught at least one gem, go back and catch the replay because you missed some if you didn't. But share it out, because you never know who needs it. But I have to ask my lovely guest, Miss Dee Bowden, how do you intentionally create happiness in your life?
Oh, here you go. Step one, red magic box, red blend.
That's your happy juice.
Girl, look here. I'm gonna have to get some stock in that for real. But yeah, look here. Let me say it again for people in the back. This is part one of my happiness. Yes, on a regular basis. So that's one. Step two. Seriously, I love smooth jazz. So as often as I can, well, before Corona hit, as often as I could, I was always going to some kind of live jazz show. This is my birthday month, and so I normally would be going, yep, hey, happy birthday to me all month. So I normally would be going to see somebody at a live show. As a matter of fact, I had tickets to go see one of my favorite artists, Norman Brown. Let me tell you, Norman Brown is old school cool when it comes to smooth jazz for me. And I was super excited to go see him. And show got canceled. But you know what's cool? He has a new album coming out, and guess who's gonna have is getting an autographed copy? Yours truly. Oh yes, happy. So, good wine, smooth jazz, attend church. For me, that's my personal belief. Part of my self-care is definitely plugging in and getting recharged. Obviously, we can't go to church, we go to the physical building, but when I could, definitely church is definitely a part of my recharge reset on a weekly basis with my buddies and having fun with them. I mean, I have one buddy that we when we're in service, they're like, "Are you worshiping? Listen, don't worry. We're getting the word in here, but we having fun." So I give you an example. So one of the times we're in the worship service. Now I like to dance, so we be praising the Lord and getting our little groove on. Now, if any of y'all remember Bugs Bunny when he used to play the piano, there's an episode of Bugs Bunny playing this big old, I think it was a baby grand piano. So I'm sitting there, there was some worship song, and I'm just cutting up because I'm having fun. I'm sitting there mimicking Bugs Bunny during the praise and worship song, and my buddy was cracking up. So we're sitting there just having fun. I'm sitting there, and as a matter of fact, I sent her the video. She is hollering because it was like, "Can't believe you did that." I'm like, look here. It says here, "Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all you lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Serve with gladness. Come before his presence with singing and enter his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him and say so and bless his holy name. And recognize that God is good and his goodness endures forever." He also talks about you get to celebrate. You should celebrate all that's good in your life. Now, there are some things that aren't good. And all of us we got the column, good, not good. Like Lindsey, I choose to celebrate the blessings of life and health and strength and friendship and activity. Being on the show tonight, having fun with my friend. Are you kidding? This is awesome. We get to celebrate this. This is part of it. That you got to find the people that you click with. We click immediately. That's why #Rainmaker. I haven't seen it. We will forever be #Rainmakers, baby. That's what we do.
Yes, forever bonded.
Amen.
Well, listen, I am so glad that you came on the show. Let me put your info back on the screen. Make sure that you go follow Ms. Dee Bowden, especially if you are an entrepreneur or business owner. Those are the same thing. Listen, call yourself a business owner if you are still calling yourself an entrepreneur. You own your business. You are in it to make some moolah. And contact Miss D so she can help you get that moolah in your bank account and not just floating out in the not recovered space.
Right.
So there's her info. Make sure you follow her. Make sure that you purchase her Sofa Prayers Volume 2 book. And then she also has Entrepreneurial Elevation that you can get at bit.ly Elevation 2019. Yes. Thank you again for coming on the show. Make sure if you want to receive exclusive happy hour specials that only go to my VIP list, or if you want to receive episode updates. Next episode is this Thursday with Cornell Thomas. So make sure you tune in, same time, just 2 days away on Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Then make sure you also go to bit.ly/happy updates to stay updated on future episodes and receive exclusive discounts for my VIPs, those happy hour specials. Y'all, I don't know why I did this for VIP, but take it. Again, thank you, Ms. D, for coming on to chat with us tonight. And it has been phenomenal. And I will see you guys Thursday. And with that, we are going to take it out.